God, it's getting deep. in
Call
here.
this Washington County Board of Education meeting to order. Do we need to go through all the other process, or
No.
let's just get to business?
Let's get to business.
All right. Mr. Chris, take it away.
All right, so as you're all aware, you've seen the proposed map that was sent to the county commission in this configuration. That was just something that we drew up using the existing commission districts as we had previously to form these lines. And of course, with the change because of population shifting and growth in certain areas, especially in Gray. Then also in the 13th County Commission District, we had a record-setting 14% growth in that district. So that really threw a lot of things out of whack.
That was where?
Where's that?
That is actually, basically it's Johnson City, like this side of ETSU,
Greenwood Drive. son.
Greenwood Drive.
And D.R. Horton built a bunch of houses over there too.
They did.
Some other stuff.
That's one of the things. We've also got some D.R. Horton projects popping up in other locations in the county that's coming down the pipe.
So that's District 1.
Yes, that would be District 1 where that growth happened there. But you also have, for instance, new subdivision, we're looking at the plans for over off Elmer Walker and Bob Ford Road. That's going to be 169 houses on that. I'm not sure if Jason or Chairman Day was familiar with that project. So you've got that one, you've got a few other projects in Gray, you've got Madison's Meadows up that way, a couple other things.
But none of that will matter for another 10 years.
Correct. The new stuff will not matter, but some of the stuff that has come online, though, is what's caused a lot of the shift.
Right.
So we're seeing where we've got future growth coming, but also in that area has been growth that we've had. So that's what's caused a lot of this weird shifting about.
Let me ask you a question. I guess for the school board, I don't understand really why we'd change anything, because if we represent the county as an entirety, who really cares if Mary Beth has 14% more growth than I have?
So you still have to follow under the same rules as the county commission, where it's one man, one vote, the 10% deviation rule.
Okay.
So that's the big driving factor on that.
Okay.
What we try to do is we also try to keep those school board lines following county commission district lines. And the reason for that is also to reduce voting precincts, because voting precincts cost money. And the administrator of elections can definitely walk you through on the cost side of that, why we're trying to actually work to reduce those voting precinct numbers.
Let me say this. Now, I've heard a lot of people complain about less voting precincts. And I know you said it costs more money to have a voting precinct, but, you know, the older people, they want to go to a voting place and vote. You know, they are some that's doing the mail-in, but not nothing like, you know. Where I live at, everybody wants to go to their voting precinct and vote. You know,
And that's
and
definitely.
then if there's a line there, then they get upset because they're standing in line. So,
Nobody likes to stand in line. I don't
no,
either.
not an older person.
Yeah.
Early voting.
Well, but there's lines at that too.
And they said there are gonna be 4 sites.
So with the voting precincts, that's something, if you have comments about that, you can send that along to the election commission, because they are the ones that control that exclusively. So anything like that, I would recommend you direct it that direct way to them. I'm just trying to make sure we fall in line and keep the deviation down as we're supposed to within law. That's all I'm here for, is just to make sure we're following the law, we keep everything in line. That way everybody's happy, or as happy as we can be, because there's no plan that's going to be perfect. So, anyways, this is the first plan that was presented. I've, like I said, made a few others, and we can do modifications, or we can just scratch, draw if you want to. This is something that I took the feedback that I received Tuesday night and made some modifications to it. And this plan actually has a deviation of 1.23%, which is actually pretty good. And how we come to that deviation is we look for the highest positive number and the highest negative number, and we add them. So your greatest negative number is 0.41, and your greatest positive number is 0.82. So that's how we get to that. That's actually a really good deviation.
Can you explain that? That puts Gray back into District 3.
Yes, ma'am, that does put Gray back in District 3, and the 6th district, the 7th district, the 8th and the 10th district. So that's your 5 county commission districts.
Okay,
So I-
tell me I'm sorry?
So I'm kind of with Mitch. I would like to see our students, the places where we serve, I would like to see the overlay of our students onto this map.
So you're looking for a density of your current students as well.
Yeah.
Right, because if you've got a district that doesn't have any students in it, who are they supposed to serve? Because, I mean, and that comes into, you know, where people in Johnson City, most of them don't have a stake in our county. They could care less whether they vote for school board or not in Washington County. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but that's, some of them, they're like, why, you know, we don't affect them in any way.
Right.
So they're not a stakeholder. So that's what I'd like to see in that district area, because we were, at one time, everybody had a part of the city. So we knew if those kids came to us, where exactly they went and who served them.
Right.
And now it's just,
I understand what you're saying, Ned, but regardless of what district, we do represent all the students.
we
But
do.
let me expand on that a little bit while I was thinking about, you know, if you look at the local environment, I mean, we have a county commission that's evenly represented across the county and all the voters and the taxpayers. Their responsibility is funding. Okay, funding comes from the taxpayers, so they have the representation. You know, that's why it's needed and it's important. But you get down to the Board of Education, we don't have taxing authority. Okay, our responsibility first and foremost is to the kids that are in school. So, you know, to have, you know, a significant a district that has 0 or very few students in it, you know, where's those? You know, there's no stakeholders there. You know,
I understand what you're saying.
from the student standpoint. So that was the concern I had as this all started more for now. But
Could you give
I don't know
us
how you
the
address
county, city breakdown in there? Like
Um,
District 3 is the main one.
Unfortunately, the software,
It won't allow.
Who's in District
Does not.
3?
Me, Mitch, and David.
you-
No.
And I will be. Okay, what I'm concerned about here though, is that really it does address putting Gray back in, which I
Right.
think that's a good thing. Gray does need to be in District 3 because that's a big chunk of county students that can kind of alleviate that. But then again, can you tell me the number of District 2 city students?
no,
There's just a little bit of Boones Creek and maybe a little bit.
no, unfortunately, I do not have any of your school population data. I wish I did, because that would make this a lot easier.
Is there
I'm
any
sure.
way you could overlay the current district now on top of that?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember which layer that was. I have to go digging into a database, so it takes me just a
Can
second.
someone explain to me what the problem is?
Why can't we just leave it alone?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, if we
What's
let
the
that
problem?
we
alone,
can't because of some kind of law.
if we left it alone, the one that seems the most like we have now is to switch District 5 and District 7. If that means Gray and then the other district. I hope you've got one of those. What the problem is, Jason, is District 3, the proposed one, has so few county students in it, it's almost like, why bother?
Well,
Who would
if-
you represent? There's a little bit of Gray where, or, I'm sorry, Boones Creek where Chad lives, and everything else is city.
See, I just don't get that because, like, for example, you see all that on that green map?
That's District 1.
I understand that.
That is
about
the
to switch a
best
little bit.
representation of county and city.
I know, but what I'm getting at is, you see all that in the red? So those people in that blue is gonna take care of all them people in that red, and they're gonna take care of all them people in that green right there. Just like those people in that green's gonna take care of all them people in that blue and all them people in that red. And then people in that red is gonna take care of all them people in that green, all them people in that blue. I mean, I don't even know why we have districts, truthfully. I mean, we ought to be representing the whole group as an entirety. I don't think it matters where you live or who you represent. You went to Grandview today because you care about Grandview and that's who
I
you
care
represent.
about all the schools.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, who cares,
But-
really?
Well,
I don't understand what the
You
problem
That's
is.
a good question. Do we have to have this?
I don't
Do we
even
have
want,
nine
I don't
at
even think you ought to have them. I think you just ought to vote everybody run for school
At
board?
large?
You have to have a district?
Yeah,
Y'all know that?
why
I
do
don't
you?
even know.
State law, and then I
Does require district?
and I think Washington County also specifically has a private act that says you have 3 school board districts of 3 members
3 members.
alternating.
Yeah, and that's fine, but I'm just like, I mean, really, for us sitting here,
Is that
we represent everyone in the county.
what it was last year? I
The
mean,
blue
Blue
is,
line is.
the blue is
line
current.
is what
That's
it currently is today.
Well, we didn't change the whole law.
So
No, that's what I
where
was
is-
looking
So I
at.
got.
Well, you got
I don't
county
think it is. I don't
property
think it is.
in District 3. It's just not showing up. It's like a Watauga and all that up in there, that's county.
Well, it's all county, the whole blue
Yeah.
area is
Can you show
county.
me where
Every bit of the
Johnson
blue's
would
county.
be on this?
No, it's not.
No,
Everything in there's county.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Washington County, but it's
Henry
still
Johnson.
Within
city
Johnson
and
City.
county.
Right, but I mean, those city people vote for county school board members. I mean,
Some of them
I don't
skip
think,
it.
I don't think you can get away from that.
It looks to me like that
Yeah.
District 2 has got bigger.
It has.
It has. But so is District 1. We've taken
No, it's got
Jonesboro.
smaller.
We
In
were,
this, in that proposal,
In that
District
proposal, we
2
got
has got smaller.
well, the one I looked at the other day, we were
District
feathering
three
the
got bigger
Joneses.
in the proposal.
But,
Yeah, I know.
because it didn't have as big of a population increase, so you've got to increase the geographic
Henry Johnson's, that's what it
geographic
is.
area.
I
On
think-
District 2.
I think on District 1, we lost, didn't we lose just a tidbit down across the 4-lane?
Sure it was.
Bowman Town.
Seven.
We lost the street
Seven.
streets,
Is there no more
but they said we
kilometers?
was in Bowman Town. I never went to Bowman.
We was, a little bit,
Yeah.
barely across the road.
But when we run, it was
Are you saying
Leesburg.
that
We
that's-
used to have
that's not
Leesburg, we
the way
don't have
you
it
say
no more.
Right.
Yeah.
This blue, how that is, you are in Henry Johnson's 7 voting precinct, correct?
Okay, what we need to do, guys?
I'd like for us to see you put up 5 and 7 switch,
Okay.
please.
You've got 1 second.
Somebody from Fort Myers just called me, Mary Beth, I read Bill
I'm
House.
sorry, this is important. This may, I mean,
I would
it's not
say,
just about me. I can be on the board until, of course, I will have to sit out like Mike did. It's not about me. It's about representation. Look at District, well, the proposed one has Jonesboro, Sulphur Springs, Fall Branch, Ridgeview, Harmony, Gray. It has all of those. And Johnson, the other one has Johnson City. Okay, now, that put it in District 1.
Hold on 1 second. Let's see what happened. This thing pulled some of that.
While he's doing that, I do have a question for the election administrator to talk about your specific situation. So, given the fact that Mary Beth currently resides in District 2, if we are to change the lines, which would put her outside of District 2 and put her in District 3, what happens to her, what happens to that District 2 seat? Does she continue in that
Until
until
the term's over.
Yes,
she would continue in that until her 2-year term was over?
we do not kick her off. She was voted to represent, school board's a little different. You are voted to represent all the children in Washington County. So if reapportionment comes along, and any of you are reapportioned out of the districts that you were elected for, your term doesn't end until your election term ends. So she is still on the school board.
Till
So
2024.
Yes, ma'am, until
So-
your time is up.
So if she's redistricted into District 3 and chooses to run for a seat in District 3 and is not elected, she would continue in her District 2 seat.
Yes,
Correct?
sir.
If she were elected, she'd have to vacate the District 2 seat, the commission would have to appoint.
No, the commission does not appoint.
Won't it though? Yeah, I
So
love
who-
camping
so
out
where
at
does
early
the-
voting again
If
next
she-
summer.
If
That's
she-
how I want to spend, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, I'm trying not to go off, but go
If,
ahead.
if Mary Beth ran for office this coming year, she doesn't have to, she can do that as a sitting school board member. She can run against anyone in this room or another office, that would be her choice. If she does not win, she is still on the school board. If she does win, she's within 120 days of another election. So it comes to my department. And what we would do, we would scramble, get petitions ready. It would be a special election, but it would be with the normal November election. and we would run an election for you guys to receive another person on your school board.
But it'd just be for the one seat.
It would be for her vacated seat for 2 years. It wouldn't be a 4-year term, it would just be to fulfill the vacated seat in Washington County. And I am not giving advice, I'm just talking about.
Correct.
So it shifts either way.
I wasn't taking it that way.
That's what this
I was
proposal
taking it
is.
as information.
Okay, this is the one that I think is more like what we've got now. This, you can see, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take over, but you can see where it cuts down some of District 2 in county only and adds more into the city, and then it's got a clean up there in District 3.
You're on the right hand side of that.
This is like we've got now, basically.
But Mitch is out there.
Oh, I don't know if I am or not. Who's there
Yes,
on-
you and I are in the same
Well,
one.
that's what I thought. But
Yeah.
Just,
What happens to the other 3 seats that's in 3 now? Will they
I don't know
move?
where I'm living. I'm off Creek Road or about that's all you'll
So
find out.
here's
it
where
won't affect them.
Mitch Meredith is, right here.
Where are we?
This green dot right here, that's where you reside.
Yeah, because you're following the interstate by 3.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
following
so
the
you did
interstate.
move me to District 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
this plan
In
would
that,
move you to
yeah,
District 2.
yeah. Well, I
But
don't
the
know where I'm gonna be
proposed-
living in 2 years, so I don't know, that's all right.
The proposed
Well, if
plan
it's
that we
between
listened to at
them,
the commission meeting, where does that put the other 3 seats on the proposed one?
So on this proposed one,
I'm
it keeps
sorry.
the other seats still within the 3rd district.
So they'll be representing the same as Mary Beth is talking about.
So you would have the 3 in the 2nd district that would stay, and then you would have Mitch come into the 2nd district with this plan. So you would have,
So,
But I'd fall into the Mike Masters and Clarence May thing where I wouldn't be able to run, I'd have to
you
sit
have
out
to sit
2
out
years.
2 years.
Okay,
They're
so,
the
it
knowledgeable ones on that
affects you and Mary
side.
Beth.
Yeah,
That one does.
No, I'm talking about the one that was presented at the commission meeting.
That
Okay.
doesn't affect me.
no, that would not affect you, it would affect her. So it's one of those things,
But I guess my thought is, the other 3 that's in District 3 now, it wouldn't affect them at all, they'd still be in District
No.
3.
No, it wouldn't affect me.
Here's another thing you gotta think about a little bit.
Right now, sir.
It's easy for me to say because it don't affect me,
see,
but
that green, it's.
there ain't no
they moved-
guarantee any of y'all's gonna win again.
Where they moved that.
Or me, or anybody else, so we can't base this whole thing based on where somebody
well,
lives today.
I have just been reelected though, for 3 years.
So you got 3
in
more
District
games.
2.
That's good.
Well, I'm just
She
saying.
said you don't have to leave.
Huh?
She said you don't have to leave.
I know, but it's just the way the map is, it puts more even in the city and the county. Can you bring the whole thing up? I'm sorry.
Chris, what are you adding back to this with it like this? I know you're taking away evidently Fairmont
just get the dots out. Put it on.
area.
so what's happened there is
Chad.
Gray's being added to the 3rd district, and the 7th district is
Well,
going
I'd say
to
they could
the
move up. One of them's
2nd or
probably
school board
Chad,
district.
one of them's probably David.
So you have the 5th
You in the
commission
green?
district going with the
I'm a
3rd
green
school
dot.
district,
That thing
and the
flipped
7th
around? Oh, you're in
commission
the green
district
dot?
going
Green
with
dot.
the
Red
2nd.
dots.
Me and Whitney's the 2 blue ones.
Right.
Well, so you're taking away,
So where's David?
I mean, I'm saying as far as.
Oh, he's over
That's
there.
it.
Okay.
This
I'm missing
proposed
the
right
dot.
here that's on the
Where's the other
screen.
green
What you
dot? Oh,
proposed
it's under
initially
Johnson City.
took away the gray area and added Henry
Correct.
Dot.
Let me switch back to that.
Don't lose that one.
Oh, it's saved, it all, it's
Well,
all
no, that's
saved.
what I'm wanting to know on this one.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to see the overlay of our students on these 2 maps.
Honey, you don't have time for that.
I don't think
The
you
meeting-
Why
can
not?
do that.
Meeting's Monday,
He
isn't it,
said he
Mr.
couldn't
Boyd?
do that.
We're on
I
time.
have to provide the data,
Well, I'm fine
data,
with
and
that.
it's gonna take some time to geocode that.
But
Somebody
it
can
still
send
would
it
be
to
good
us.
to see, I don't know if.
Yeah,
it
it
makes
would.
I
sense.
mean, that's
think
one of
y'all
the
ought to
suggestions
connect
from
that.
us.
I mean, that's,
We're not, I mean, we ain't,
well, my suggestion would be,
Suggest doesn't mean they're gonna go with it.
yeah, I mean, there's.
but my suggestion would be, once I saw those 2 things, my suggestion would be whichever one had the most students spread out. And if that's gonna be the other map, that's fine, but I mean, I just want, I mean, that's what we should be concerned about is, you know, having our workload, spread out a little
This
bit.
is the original.
This is the original, it was originally designed to be as efficient as possible, and that's
But
we went with
it's,
also using
again,
existing
we
information.
pointed out that there's all the county in District 2, and there's all the city in District 3, except a little bit of Boones Creek.
But you gotta remember, the reason they wrote these maps is because of the population. That's the reason these whole, so when you take that out of mind, even though you're not equal as far as student representation, I mean, we all get fan mail and hate mail both from
Right.
all three districts.
You've got
And-
fan mail?
I would, but
Some,
I've got
but,
one.
but you know, and I hate to see anybody negatively affected by it, but at the same time, to understand the reason you drew these lines was because of the census data, which is throwing the population, you're being equal in the population that you represent as far as the county, correct?
Correct.
So-
And that's what drives us, is the total population. We don't look at schools, we have to look at individual
So
one.
how
person
how
at a
relevant
time.
is that?
Well, it's the same difference as Rhode Island and California. You know, I mean, you don't have, California don't make all the rules, the reason Rhode Island gets the
Yeah.
same, so,
Is what we had not more relevant than what you're doing, even though the number population, but you're calculating all John City kids too?
We have, well, we don't look at kids, we look at strictly
Population.
population, adult, child, you name it, that's how we have to look at it.
So I mean, I think even though your data's probably okay, I think it's irrelevant to the school board.
It's, at the end of the day, this county commission is the one that has to
Right.
submit this to the state for approval.
I think we leave it exactly like it is if it's up to us.
that was
I think so,
5 and
too.
7 switch.
Leave it
In my
alone.
opinion, that gets it more, it puts gray back in. I wanted to ask you though, what was the deviation between the 5
Leave
and
it alone.
7?
Okay, so,
Although I would like to see, you know, what you've got, Mary Beth, what we're looking at is, you know, a winner or loser. And I don't know, maybe you're a winner if you're districted out. You don't have to serve for, I don't know.
There we
But,
go.
Yeah.
Chris, was there not any way to do this where your existing, board members, you know, retain their current district?
so a lot of this was driven by the fact that county commission districts.
Right.
And as I've said previously, I didn't actually have your all's addresses till 5 o'clock Friday.
Oh, okay.
I had no information. All the state gave me was, here's the census blocks with this software, and here's your current county commission districts. That's it.
Right.
So I was flying blind as far as you guys and the constables were concerned until Friday. So,
it's not an option to leave it like it is.
no, we have to make changes, we have to adjust.
Chris, could you just take in North Hill subdivision?
Well, now, why do you say, wait a minute, why do you say that? Jason asked, why can we not leave it, Jason, and you mean leave it where it is, where
Just leave it alone.
where the board, the commission has already set those boundaries? Or are you
I
talking
was
about
saying like, for us.
Leave us alone.
Just leave it alone.
the way the districts are today?
Shaking
Today.
her head no. Dana's shaking her head no.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, I
what was
just
the
don't think the data
deviation
matches
in the
up. I don't make
switching
sense.
5 and 7, Chris? Is that pretty close?
1.79.
Well, that's still good.
And
And that's because we're using those commission districts as they were
And is that,
taken care of.
Every dot's a student.
huh?
Every dot is a student.
County.
there's
Oh.
more than I thought there.
Is that,
Can you take out city?
Those
No.
are,
Those
That
are
is
those are
entire
just
students.
county.
That's all
students.
county students.
That's
Sorry,
all
that's our,
county students.
out of our information system, Ms. Cox was able to, I guess, put it on the map where the families
So
are.
you do have, I mean, you
You
do
do have
have
a
a
lot of
fair
students.
amount running out.
Helicon
there.
people you can represent.
Yeah.
All them dots, it's all yours.
That's more than I thought.
I do.
Well, that's the majority.
That's the majority.
There's a
It's up there
ton
on the
of them
top.
up there.
But Chris, could you just encompass North Hill back into the state district?
So if we were to do that, then it would variate out from the commission district line, it would create a voting precinct
Okay.
and some other things, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
Okay, so now let's go back to Mitch's, what he thought I said.
Well, you were saying that, why wouldn't we just leave it where
The
the
commission
current?
has it.
Oh, yeah,
I
where the
was saying
commission,
that,
yeah.
but yeah.
So I don't, you know, where the commission has it, I mean, I understand.
Let's see that one more time,
no,
can we?
wait, those
The-
white areas, they're not dots. They're
Well,
cities.
yeah, you got, yeah,
But there's a few,
there's some
but
white areas that makes
Yes.
it look like.
it makes it look like it's
There's still a pile of them.
Yeah, there's more than I thought.
Especially if you get
Yeah,
out there.
that is,
Oak Grove.
it's not
So that's
all
one
of the
that was
city.
sent to the county commission, that's what you're wanting to see, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay.
So basically,
Do like the other one better, just because it has more space and
so three, I'm trying to see the dots. That one, one blue and green there at John City confuses me. So who's the three
The
blues?
blue is
Staying
Mary
out of
Beth.
it, ain't you?
Mary Beth
Close
blue.
her in. Right above it is Johnson City, that's third
Yeah.
district.
Mitch is
And
right.
the other
That's
three
Mitch.
dots are up there.
So, I mean, what we're looking at is, you know, either Mary Beth continues to serve 2 more years of her term, or we move the line and I've gotta sit out for 2 years because I'm gonna be over in District
Well,
2.
you have to run again next year anyway.
Well,
right?
2 years.
Well, I know, but
I
I
mean,
mean,
I,
had
but I
you been
could, but I
staying-
wouldn't be able to run
That's not gonna throw you in district cities.
if,
It
in
will,
the, in the
yeah.
one, in the.
No, I'm talking about this one.
This one
That's
is not,
the-
that's
that's the
correct,
old
that's
one.
correct.
That's, yeah, that's what I'm.
Get rid of that one.
So,
That's the one the commission wants.
No.
This is the one that was sent to the commission.
They
It
didn't-
was strictly something I drafted out just to be as efficient as possible.
Okay, so where's the one the commission likes?
They don't have.
They
one
don't have a
specific.
preference.
They wanted your all's input.
Okay.
Can
Well,
you go
guys,
back to 5 and 7 switch?
I'd say
please?
put District 2 back in District 3 back in the gray section.
I think that's what they
I mean, that's
But population wise, you can't do that. can you?
want. Yeah, yeah.
just like that right there.
That
Or
is
yeah, that's true,
gray,
you're
that
taking
is
out
gray
three.
back in the,
Then that puts everybody,
except,
that puts Mitch back, everything like it was, right?
No, no.
Mitch is out.
it's either gonna be
Oh,
Mitch.
yeah,
or-
but, yeah, because if you zoom in, it's.
Mary
the
Beth,
interstate
who would you
just
pick?
to the, my back door, so.
How many?
Well, he even said he didn't know where
Can
he's
we-
gonna be living in
can
a
you
couple of,
tweak-
in a year.
Can you tweak
I've
that
been
just a
there
little bit,
32
put Mitch
years.
back in
I'm not
District
going
3?
anywhere.
Where's the Christian?
That's where.
here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Follow the county commission
That's
district
really
lines,
where they
and
fight.
deviates from
I'm
that.
sorry, if it's up to passion, I don't know.
Hey, man,
Right.
your mom's house.
That's
It's
what
in
I'm saying.
District, man. His mom's house in District 3.
He says he
Well,
lives around
yeah,
all
is
the
that
time.
where you're living, where are you living
I'd say the
now?
most fair thing to do is let the county commission decide.
My dog is.
Why?
Not on Knob Creek.
I want us to decide our
I
lines.
can't pick one, I'm not gonna pick one. I'll just tell you, I'm not.
Mhm.
It don't affect me, it ain't
can't
fair
either,
for me to
but
pick one. It ain't fair for you to pick one, it don't affect you.
Well, I mean, it's the county, it's the school
I
system.
know,
I feel
but-
like we need to represent our school system.
Are you gonna pick Mary Beth, or you gonna pick Mitch?
I told him to put Tweak him and put Mitch in
I
3.
even decide to run again.
I mean, if he can, that'd be fine, that'd solve all the problems, but he can't. That's what
We're
I'm
looking at a
saying.
crystal ball.
But
here.
it
I'm not gonna
don't-
vote for either one of
Well, you know
them.
what I'm saying, it ain't fair for
We
us
gotta
to
vote,
pick.
because
I
it's
can't-
going money.
I don't wanna vote. I
This
mean,
is
that's-
a
It's their
better
money.
division of county and city.
He-
You've got Gray, you've got Boones Creek, and this even comes up through Jonesboro and up in part of Johnson City. See? Otherwise, it would be too much in the county.
I know, Mary Beth, what I'm saying is, I love you, and I love Mitch, and I'm not gonna pick one or the other. I'm just not, personally.
Well, that's what I say,
I
we tweak it.
Take the dots out of it and think about the reason why they did it. That's the reason why it is. And you've got to, no matter what, there's not 3 groups of people that vote against each other just because of the red's getting better, the green's getting better, the blue's getting better. It's about the youngins.
Well, he
So-
just said he randomly selected that, Chad. He said it's up to, I mean,
What's-
No, it's based on
What's the
population.
standard
well, but I
deviation
know, but he
on-
said it's just
on that-
one
on
in
that,
switching it back. It's not
So
that,
this is the 1.79% deviation,
And the other one was what?
bounced around between these so much it's starting to run together a little bit.
If it's as easy as that and fixing it where Mary Beth and Mitch both get to stay where they're at, then just do it.
you can't do it.
Okay.
This is 2.77.
Really?
Well, That's
Yeah.
pretty close.
Heath, excuse me. So those were all Washington County students, no Johnson City, just to confirm?
Right.
Okay.
You gotta remember though, that low percentage, like I had the first commission district,
Mhm.
it's at 0%, but it's a quarter of a person who,
Oh.
because the way the math works on
So,
it, so it's,
according to you, it's not really, it
it's
doesn't
gonna be
really
close
matter.
population wise regardless.
Okay.
When you're talking about being 1.63% over the deviation, that's 721 people total. The negative 1.04 is 460 people below the ideal population. So
Okay.
you're less than 1,000 either way.
So
So
that's close enough, where if we did the
as
5
long
and
as you're under
7.
10%, that's what's key.
That's, okay. Can we go back to that other one?
So what are we supposed to do here today? Vote on a recommendation? Is that what we're supposed to do? Or just talk or? Wait, what?
Yeah, what was the
Please.
commission
So,
report?
so there is a resolution on the agenda Monday night for the commission to vote on for the school board district. That resolution references the original, the first map. Yeah, we'll call it the first map.
Okay.
Tap and wheel.
So that's what we are scheduled to vote on. If there is an alternative suggestion from the school board, it would be appropriate, I think, to bring that forward. Otherwise, I suspect we're going to vote on what we have in front of us. And if I may, Chris has done a tremendous amount of work on this with the goal, number one, of staying within our guidelines, having the deviation where it's supposed to be. But also, we're trying to be very, very cognizant of the efficiencies as far as precincts and what it truly costs us to run an election. Keith, understand what you're saying. In a perfect world, we'd do school board separate and we'd do county commission separate, but it doesn't work that way. You know, it all comes together. Please allow me. We have to follow the statutes and the guardrails that are given to us. I will tell you, from a commission standpoint, we had some same discussion because people are moving. Personally, I lost a good section of supporters in my district. But I'm looking at it from the perspective, if I start doing that, then I have lost all of my ethics and credibility. Whether it's my election or the next person, the districts need to be laid out within the guardrails that make the most sense. If you want to run, then you're going to run in the district that you live in because that's the way the population has dictated it. And more importantly, that's the way the census data that's coming down from the federal government has dictated to us. So that's a long-winded reply to the question, but simply, right now the resolution has a map as originally listed.
Okay.
We deferred action on that to give you all an opportunity to have a discussion today. If there was any feedback and or suggestions that you wanted to make. Does that cover that pretty well?
And I'm guessing that the map that's with the resolution is probably as efficient as any configuration.
Right, we try to make it as efficient as we can.
As far as precincts are concerned.
But I think we asked that it be closer to what we have currently, correct? Yeah.
And
That's-
we
and
had
it's-
the same
it's
thing
a
from
very
commissioners,
small-
they would love to have it
It's
just
a
the way
very
it is, but
small,
it can't
it's a very
change.
small deviation though, correct, Chris? If
Either
we
way,
did
it's a
the
small
5
deviation.
All right, okay.
What does it do to precincts?
It will do nothing to precincts so long as we follow those county commission district lines.
Okay,
That's the
so
key.
that's, yeah. So is that back to 5 and 7 sheet?
No, this is the original.
Can you back up that one? I think that one is a better, I'm sorry.
I'd like to know one thing, how did they come up? Because used to, District 2 used to be District 3 for the school system. And District 2 used to be for District 3.
I'm gonna say it is one way or
Oh, the
another.
flopping like that, that
Yeah,
happened.
how did they just,
It's always settled.
redistrict?
all right, why? Why did, I mean, you're still,
Yes or no?
because of the,
Realigning everything is how that got flipped. So
wanna make
It
that
got
motion?
totally
I
flipped.
want you to make whatever motion you want, and we're gonna vote yes or no.
All right, I make a motion, we go with this one. You said it was just this is closest to what we have now, correct?
They're both pretty close either way.
Gray into a whole new, gray's a pretty big chunk. So this puts gray back into, and that's all county students.
If that's what you guys want, I mean, this is what we'll run.
Well, if you're taking,
I'm trying to take any sides.
I understand, but if you're gonna do that, Mary Beth, and we move that line
Wait a
from
minute.
over to the,
Second it, will you?
all right.
We
We don't even
Second.
have to
Thank
do anything though, do we?
We don't have to, but the only way else we can settle this is vote
This
yes
is
or
more
no.
fair.
Let's go.
Let me,
Or don't vote.
I want to discuss,
Yes, go ahead.
No, vote.
I want to move, and I want to put Mitch back in District 3.
Make us
They
leave
won't
the
do
room.
that.
They won't do it.
They've got to, because look what they've already done.
They won't do it, they just,
I mean, we just added all that up there.
all we can do is vote yes or no.
And
I
that was
make a
impacted
motion
by
we go
a
with
change
this one.
in the county commission lines, I guess where Mr. Meredith lives. I mean, it's adjustment of the county commission
Right.
lines, so that's really what has to be followed.
Right.
And the same with Mary Beth, there's no way to just.
This is my, that is my commission district. He
So-
can have, right?
Actually, no, I think you were at.
Cares.
I've always-
I mean, Karen, I'm not the right district. I just.
This is plotting one against the
All
other.
right. Can we vote on
Roll call
this?
vote, Jennifer.
We get a second?
What's the
Yeah,
motion?
Keith second.
Oh,
What's the motion?
The motion's to accept that like it is.
This one like that?
This
Yeah.
one's the closest
The
one to
change.
what we've
The
got
change.
now.
and I got one more question before we vote.
It's not a, yeah. it's-
This will change precincts, right?
Voting precincts are gonna change no matter what. They're gonna have to be realigned to new county commission districts and school board lines.
But if, with this map, will it change what the commission voted on this past week?
They didn't vote
They
on the
didn't
school
vote.
board.
They didn't vote on schools, they only voted on the county commission
Just
districts.
county.
And this still keeps the original, the 15 intact commission districts, correct?
Correct, this is based off using those 5 county commission districts per school board district as building blocks.
But this kicks Mitch out.
This one will.
All right, let's vote.
It doesn't affect
Jennifer?
precincts at all?
Yes.
Let's roll call it.
Mr. Masters,
No.
Mr. Riddle,
No.
Mr. Irvin,
No.
Miss Buchanan,
You seconded it.
I know,
That's what we
and
talk about it.
I want to discuss it.
Mr. Buchanan?
I'm ready to go. Just-
Yes.
Miss Dellinger,
guess I'll leave. Yes.
Mr. Fleener,
I really don't even care. I mean, is that bad?
Mm-mm. Pass or vote, I guess.
I abstain, I mean, it didn't,
you say you
abstain.
Mr. Hammond,
Abstain.
Mr. Meredith,
Probably abstain too.
Mr. Day.
I'm staying.
I don't think you really abstain that.
I want it fair to everybody.
I mean,
The one they've got is not fair.
I agree. I can't vote against you. I gotta go against you.
It holds next summer,
I want
Chad.
All right, it fails.
I don't.
We'll let the county
I might be a
commission
voter.
do what they do.
So go with, the original was already on the table.
Yep.
Okay. We will reflect that back to the county commission.
All right. Good. Meeting adjourned.